You know that feeling when you see something that looks familiar, but somehow better, sharper, tighter, more dialed in? That's exactly what went through my head the moment I saw this, the original Ford Bronco, reimagined by Velocity Modern Classics. Now, the original Bronco already had a cult following, a pure off-roader. Compact, boxy, rugged, a little noisy, and full of character. But what Velocity has done here is something else entirely. They've taken that iconic first-generation design and completely rebuilt it, piece by piece. From the ground up, the idea: keep everything you love about the old Bronco and fix everything that time and technology have made better. Today, I'm going to show you what that looks and feels like, from its stunning exterior to the rich, modern interior, and of course, that beastly 5.0-liter Coyote V8 under the hood. This is the old Bronco reborn for the modern era. So buckle up. This isn't just a restoration, it's a resurrection. At first glance, you can almost mistake it for a perfectly restored original Bronco, the kind you might see parked at a high-end classic car meet, polished within an inch of its life. But then, you start noticing the details. The proportions are right: tall, squared-off fenders, short overhangs, upright glass, that timeless two-door body. But everything's been subtly refined. The paint alone is worth staring at for a while. This one's finished in anvil gray, which looks gray at first, but in certain light, there's a bluish undertone that gives it real depth. It's not loud or flashy. It's sophisticated and tough at the same time. And then there's the stance of 33-inch tires wrapped around 17-inch Mickey Thompson wheels. They fill the arches perfectly, giving the truck a planted, confident look without overdoing it. Underneath, Velocity has swapped out the old running gear for all-new heavy-duty axles, a Dana 40 for upfront, and a Ford 9-inch rear end. The suspension's been completely redone too, so while it still looks vintage, it rides and handles like a modern truck. Up front, the headlights have been upgraded to custom LED units that mimic the look of the originals, but with the crisp, modern beam pattern. Around back, everything's neatly integrated, clean lines, tight panel gaps, and a finish that looks like it rolled straight out of a luxury factory rather than a dusty old barn. And then there's the little stuff, the trim, the door handles, the badging. It's all been re-engineered to feel solid and satisfying. You can tell that every latch, every hinge, every bolt has been touched by someone who truly cares about craft. It's the same Bronco silhouette we all know and love, but turned up to 11. Step inside, and this is where Velocity really separates itself from a typical restoration. Gone is the basic, utilitarian cabin of the original Bronco. In its place, a luxurious, handcrafted interior that somehow manages to feel both premium and true to its roots. The first thing you notice is the leather. Espresso brown quilted leather covers the seats, the door panels, even parts of the dash. It looks rich, smells incredible, and feels built to last. The stitching is tight and deliberate, the kind of craftsmanship you'd expect in a six-figure SUV. Not a 50-year-old truck reborn, there's also a rugged practicality to it. The floors are coated with a rhino lining style material that's sturdy and easy to clean. You can tell this thing is meant to be used. It's not just for show. The doors themselves feel fantastic, heavy, solid, with door handles that click with real precision. You pull the handle, and there's this confidence to the mechanism, like it was milled out of a block of aluminum instead of stamped sheet metal. And then there's the step. As soon as you open the door, an automatic step folds down to help you climb in. When you shut it, it retracts with a satisfying thunk. It's one of those small touches that instantly tells you this is more than a restoration. It's a reimagining. Once you're seated, the cabin feels open and airy, just like the old Bronco. But everything you touch has been modernized. The thin wooden and metal steering wheel looks period correct but feels smooth and substantial. The column-mounted shifter, park, reverse, neutral, drive fits perfectly in your hand. The gauges are classic round dials with a retro design, but inside, they're fully digital. They give you modern readouts for speed, revs, and engine temps, while maintaining that vintage aesthetic. There's also a discreet Bluetooth audio system built in, so you can stream music or podcast without ruining the look of the dashboard. The air conditioning is upgraded too. This isn't the wheezy, half-hearted cooling of a 1970s truck. It's a modern unit that blasts cold air like a luxury SUV, which, on a hot day, is an absolute blessing. Everywhere you look, you can see Velocity's obsession with detail. USB and USB-C ports in the center console, a lock and safe for valuables, Alcantara on the headliner. It's all there. It's not trying to be flashy. It's trying to be perfect. Now, let's talk about what makes this Bronco truly special. What's hiding under that hood? Velocity has replaced the old inline-six or small block V8 with something far more serious. Ford's 5.0-liter Coyote V8. It's the same engine you'll find in a modern Mustang GT, tuned here to deliver around 430 horsepower. That's more power than the current Bronco Raptor, and in a vehicle that weighs far less. When you open the hood, you can see just how immaculate the setup is. Custom headers feed into a bespoke exhaust system that sounds absolutely glorious. There's nothing quite like the burble of a naturally aspirated V8, the instant throttle response. The sharpness, the way it fills the air with sound. Velocity didn't stop there, either. Every major component has been upgraded or replaced. New axles, new suspension, new brakes. The braking system comes courtesy of Wilwood, giving the Bronco real stopping power to match the engine's grunt. The end result is a powertrain that feels both vintage and modern at once. You've got that old school, mechanical soul, but with modern reliability, precision, and refinement. This isn't some Frankenstein build where a modern engine's been shoehorned into a classic body. Everything fits, everything works, and it all feels cohesive. It's an engineering symphony, carefully composed to make the Bronco better in every measurable way without losing what made it iconic. Now, let's fire it up and take it for a drive, press the brake, twist the key, and that Coyote V8 roars to life. The idle has that perfect, throaty rhythm, deep but smooth, muscular without being obnoxious. You can feel it through the floor and the steering wheel, but in a good way. The kind of vibration that reminds you you're sitting in something alive. Shift into drive, and you're off. The first few feet already tell you this isn't a museum piece, it's a living, breathing machine. The throttle is responsive, the exhaust note is addictive, and the ride feels solid. Acceleration is surprisingly quick. That 430 horsepower makes easy work of the Bronco's lightweight frame. Step on it, and the front end lifts, the rear squats, and the world blurs just a little bit. It's a bit like launching a speedboat, that same sense of lift and surge. The steering isn't hyper-precise, this is still a truck, with a tall stance and a short wheelbase, but it's miles better than the original. There's a bit of body roll, sure, but that's part of its charm. You feel the motion, the height, the old-school dynamics. It's a vintage driving experience with modern manners, and then there's the sound. Good lord, the sound. Those custom headers and exhaust turn every throttle input into music. It's loud, it's raw, it's pure American muscle, and it never gets old. Slowing down is easy, thanks to those Wilwood brakes. The pedal feel is firm and confidence-inspiring. You can hustle this thing through corners and trust it to stay composed. Every drive in this Bronco feels like an event. You're not just commuting, you're participating. So, what's the takeaway after a day with the Velocity Modern Classics Bronco? This isn't a car for everyone, and that's exactly why it's special. It's not about lap times or luxury scores. It's about emotion, craftsmanship, and soul. Velocity has managed to take one of the most iconic off-roaders in history and rebuild it with reverence and intelligence. Everything feels considered. Nothing feels rushed or excessive. It's the old Bronco, exactly how you remember it, only better in every single way. When you drive it, you're reminded why people fall in love with cars in the first place. The sound, the smell, the feel, it's all there. Velocity Modern Classics hasn't just restored a Bronco. They've reimagined what it means to drive one, and as I pull back into the lot, shut it off, and listen to that V8 tick itself cool, I can't help but smile. They nailed it. Thanks to Velocity Modern Classics and Con Media for making this possible. And if you love automotive art that moves, this one deserves a spot at the very top of your dream garage.